My name is Rachael Tanner. I'm the director of Isaac, a proud public school graduate. Went to the Kalamazoo Public Schools, K-12, and the University of Michigan, another fine public institution. I am here to kind of give you an advanced government class this morning. So hopefully you'll be enlightened as to how a bill really becomes a law, and in this case, in particular, the budget. What you have in your program there is a purple sheet. Oops. You want to take that out? There's one side that has a series of arrows, a little flow chart, if you will. It kind of takes you from the beginning of the legislative process where the budget's concerned, and then all the way to the end. So the governor proposes the budget, and you can see a series of successive things that happen. So as Mr. Fuller said, it starts out, the governor proposed this budget, and not only was the school aid funding okay, but made some other proposals and other budgets around how we should relieve businesses of their tax burden or try to spread it out. You can be the judge whether we spread it out properly or not. I would say we have not. And as a result, there's a huge deficit in the school aid budget. We are cutting money to children, to schools, to families, and really ultimately to ourselves and our future. So we're short-selling ourselves. So where things are now, this bill has gone to the subcommittees in each chamber, the Senate and the House, and they have had testimony. I believe Dr. Rice was there this week giving testimony to the Senate subcommittee on school aid. And I was there on the day before, and Isaac went up there, and we gave some testimony as well. And I didn't hear one superintendent say, we don't need any more money, everything's fine. I didn't hear one superintendent say, our children aren't worth it, we'll just make do with what we have. I didn't hear one superintendent say, you're right, our teachers are overpaid, they don't really work that hard, we can give them a little less money. Nobody was saying any of those things. They were saying the things that you've heard today. I'm not sure how well the Senate was listening. So that's our job. Our job is to get in there in this flow chart as it's going from the subcommittees back to the full chamber of both houses, so the House and the Senate, and then it will probably go into a conference committee to resolve the differences between the budgets. So if the Senate says we want to give schools this much money and the House says this much money, they're going to have to meet together and kind of decide what is right, and then it goes back to both chambers to get voted on again, and then it goes to the governor to sign. So every arrow here is a place where we can have an impact. Every part of this process is a place where we can have an impact. Now, the way our system of democracy was set up, it was intentionally slow and very deliberate, which is why we often say nothing gets done in Congress, because there's so many people who have to decide things. That way things couldn't get pushed through quickly and people couldn't just slam things through. However, we have a government system with 3 branches controlled by one party. Now, that does not mean that there is total unity among those people. However, it does mean that there is a deadline of May 31st that they have set for themselves, and it seems pretty clear from our business people really are working to try to get the budget passed, or all of the budgets, I should say, by May 31st. So there are, I think, about 14 or 20 different budgets that are in the state, and so each of those budgets, so the school aid is one, there's higher ed, there's different things that have the budgets, transportation. Each of those budgets is separate and gets signed separately. So if the transportation finished their stuff and got it all voted and everybody agreed, the governor could sign that. You could also line item veto things when it comes to assess. So the House and the Senate could agree and say, these are the things we want in this budget. He gets it and says, well, I don't like these 5 things, I'm taking them out, and then signs it and it's law. Okay, so that's what can happen. So we got a kind of a deadline of May 31st, although the budget doesn't have to be passed until September 30th. Schools have to have their budgets by July 1st? July 1st, so they like to get it done, soon as well. So we have a short time period, we do have some places we can make impact, and that's really what today is about. How do we as citizens get in there, make impact in the places where we need to be? If you look at the back side of your purple sheet, it kind of says, what do we want to make an impact on? What is it that we're organizing for? And there's kind of 4 ways we've summarized our position. The first is really the biggest, which is fully fund preschool, K-12, and 0 to 5 programs. That means don't cut them.